Welcome everyone to Open Source Friday after previous micro hypervisor, now Cloud Hypervisor. Cloud Hypervisor. I took a quick look here, so that is a little bit new to me, as per obvious. What is a surprise to me? I thought this is bare metal, aka like Xen, and probably the previous packaged. What was it name? Need to check in procedures. As a C++ hypervisor, something with H. Let's check our own. Why not? So this thing is not bare metal. So the other was Hedron, obviously. And so I expected naturally like Microsoft and Intel and big thing and stuff. I thought actually this is a bare metal hypervisor, but actually it isn't. So this is built on Linux. So basically this is a user space, Linux user space application, as far as I've seen. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not sure if this is bare metal, maybe not. And so yeah, so much of the first disappointment. More. You still need some like kernel virtual machine thing. So it did build. So how amazing is our RV grade yet here in our T2 Linux, our previous Rust and cargo packaging. So to my surprise, this indeed built. So this would be, let's move this. So we built this, move just as whatever. So git clone, of course, git clone this Cloud Hypervisor thing. And obviously if you have 500 mbit Voda fail stuff that clones eventually. And then, of course, their instructions say rust up. I totally don't support this. This is a recurrent crazy thing. Remote code execution, and welcome everyone. Marco, long time no see. Hope you all are doing fine. And so they, of course, say here rust up. Where was it? Here somewhere, like curl proto, install clone, and here, like sudo apt install build essential. That is, of course, T2 minimal. Don't need that rust up and also there's here, so curl proto tls sh rust up stuff. This kind of, yes, I know that is modern and hyped and stuff, but you totally can't get behind that random code execution. You also don't need this on a AAA Linux distribution like T2. Of course, we ship a bootstrapped Rust stuff, so just install T2 and Rust. So you don't need to have any of those, also if you want statically linked binaries. I didn't do that. I'm not sure if, not sure. Anyway, so long story short, then you clone this, of course, so basically like yada, 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 lots of random stuff, usually not needed because they're developers. So the only thing you, as per usual, need is git clone that, cd there, cargo build release, so that would be release on a epic thread-ripping Ryzen 1550X that builds in 2 minutes. Also, this is a little bit misleading. It, of course, previously fetched into the Rust cargo home a cargo tunnel index. How do they call that? Something. You could, of course, delete that. So that would be also, yeah, usually criticism, right? CSH. Was it cargo or Rust? Yeah, cargo. Oh, that's so much. Yeah, also hello, Vodafone, fail. Yeah, come on. I'm slightly, is that Rust cargo or where is this cache coming from? This is random other caches. Yeah, because future. So nothing like deleting from directory live on YouTube. Okay, this is cargo. Oh wait, I wanted to see how large it is. Yes, so this is the thing. I don't like this Xcode kind of style of having all the build artifacts in like your random home directory. If we wipe this will show the true build time. Here, cargo index of stuff. Why is this so slow? All right, this Vodafone docs is slow, obviously. Don't do this with verbose over a failing Vodafone line. And so Rust cargo, what was it? Cloud Hypervisor. That is a target, I think. Let's hope that's that. Let's cargo that, because the true build time is also fetching all this stuff. yeah, so Git. So this is the true build stuff. Also dependencies, my, as usual, amazing technology ideas and components and pieces of the puzzle, but then like, yeah, plenty of sub-modules, creates IO index, like so just what I totally don't like of checking hundreds of micro dependencies, like loading random code, which also usually I build as root, as much security criticism, yes, I know, building stuff as root here due to T2, and then this is this kind of stuff, right? Due to that, I built as my own normal user, because I don't trust this Rust and cargo stuff of clobbering my whole system with random stuff. So yeah, that is the true build time. And yeah, so that is a true build time, the true build dependencies. I'm probably 150 megabyte of sources and build artifacts and nodes. Yeah, also showing the true micro dependencies here, which are some actually. I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, this is disk like Rust modules for VHDX, for QCOV, for Linux, was VMM, KVM bindings, virt.io bindings, so all this kind of, I mean, in one way, sure, I understand, and it's just that historically, classically, usually, normally you would have like libraries, like libvirt.io or whatnot, and for me, this concept of each thing having its own built-in headers and libraries is a little bit, yeah. So yeah, this stuff really builds. This is always getting started with using this stuff, and I think 2 minutes with this running stuff, and then you run it. So the point is like, yeah, modern Rust and stuff, modern cloud workloads, CPU memory, device hot blocking, Windows and Linux guests, device offload, minimal compact footprint written in Rust with strong focus on security. So this is similar to QEMU. So this is basically somewhat QEMU written in Rust. And I also find it a little bit perplexing, and that if you compare this to QEMU, which, yes, see, I'm not the greatest fan and stuff, but somehow these new projects have such a cluttered build module stuff. Like, I mean, this is new and small, and yet you look at this and it's like a dozen modules of even rate limiter and everything. So the directory structure organization is for me already a little bit near, but that probably is to be expected for something that is mostly done by Intel, Microsoft. Where did they had this here? Somewhere, right, maybe. Yeah, so Microsoft, Google. So the crazy thing is, oops, also exactly what oh shit, I don't want to share my emails. So just to live stream from some Mac. Yeah, stuff that usually doesn't happen on my precious little T2 Linux. So yeah, Microsoft, Google, Intel, ARM, China Telecom, more ARM, Gmail, maybe some random hobbyist. Microsoft Intel. And on one hand, it is amazing that they invest their time and open source that in Rust. On the other, I'm not sure. So the thing is that even like these big mega corporations do not do the best to communicate here what exactly it is, right? I mean, secure, fast. I mean, for me, it's a little bit perplexing. I mean, sure, it's probably a hobby, open source, 20% open source project for them. But leave in the comments below what you think. This presentation, I mean, yeah, recurring theme, mine are also not the very best, but yeah, here's getting started. What does it? A quick start. So how you run this is already mentioned on the README Markdown. Which basically is run in Cloud Hypervisor with some arguments for CPU and stuff, running cloud images, and yeah, Cloud Hypervisor, kernel, hypervisor firmware or so, disk, CPUs, memory, net. So it means this is not unlike QEMU, right? So you also would have kernel and disk and CPUs and stuff. And yeah, I said it already. So a little bit to my surprise, I expected bare metal hypervisor. Bare but it isn't. So yeah, built in 2 minutes, 14 seconds. And the thing what we could do is I also, yeah, if you try to run this, the thing is I don't want to run that now because, I mean, although theoretically we could, I mean, it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm not locally streaming from that, so KVM. I'm not sure why this doesn't, I thought previously it was auto-loading. Nothing like chunks on, or maybe some cup admin stuff. Where was that here? It's target release and then Cloud Hypervisor. Let's see. But yeah, this will be similar. So what you gain, as there's not really much to see, I will also not mess too much with this live on this channel, just that stuff exists. As this would be how you would run it. All right, what even would happen? Let's see what exactly that will do. VM boot, no such directory. Oh, it needs a, what do we have? Not found. Yes, also some cloud raw image disk. So it wants me. Can we? What happens if we do that without disk? I mean, raw disk would sound that you. I mean, we could theoretically try an error until. Did I not? Yeah, so this is also strange. This is a really strange Linux thing. I noticed it already before. So if you, I guess the UDEF rules, I wouldn't think there should be anything else. So I assume the UDEF rules change this, like recreate KVM after using it once. So this is super, super strange. I noticed this already on our servers. I've not really debugged that yet. I probably should. So this is a little bit funny that somehow there is a, if some, like this happens also with QEMU, obviously any KVM use, that if a hypervisor, a user space hypervisor closes that apparently or something similar to that, there probably must be a no UDEF event that we probably could monitor. And then the UDEF rules recreate that or rechange owner and user. And this is a little bit strange, the strangenesses of a Linux system. Yeah, this is how you would run this. Let's package that. It's certainly more useful to run this. So that would be in emulate. I mean, the thing is, should we split this in hypervisors, virtualization? So we historically simply put everything to emulators, basically. Yeah, because if you, I mean, I would argue, I mean, splitting this in too many repositories and you don't find stuff. And I would argue emulators still close enough and QEMU can be both. So this is why I'm leaning more. I mean, again, we can at any time move this around, run them at goodwill. Yeah, Marco watching on New Pipe. Too much of the YouTube. Got no chat though. Yeah. Yes, you mentioned. I remember you mentioned this before. Happy to see you around. And let's see, what was this? So they have releases. What is so? Let's package that. Not sure if. For me, I would personally prefer more a bare metal hypervisor. This is also, I mean, I'm just randomly taking a look, right? To be, I mean, this is the crazy thing in tech, right? You can waste your whole day and week just looking around for the latest and greatest tech, following some news articles, and somehow everything is half finished, half usable. Are there now, after my previous video, Horizon is running T2, of course. Do we have Neo Fetch? We could etc SDE version. It's a little bit, last year install. Only building T2 here, of course. But thanks for asking. Basically, testing our own stuff that we will release soon. So yeah, basically for me, I mean, that is a funny thing, right? Rust, more memory safety, more security, but still basing on Linux kernel virtual machine. Tell me in the comments below, are you impressed by that? What is the state? I mean, they could at any time adapt this to other hypervisor APIs on Windows or even Mac OS. But I think hypervisor framework. For me personally, I would rather replace all the Linux kernel complexity. That is, if you use Linux with kernel virtual machines as the hypervisor. But yeah, leave in the comments below what are your thoughts about all this stuff, all this development. Cloud Hypervisor, remote static stuff, and okay, they have the not cool link, otherwise Cloud Hypervisor, so wanted to check what their release name is. Of course, we can package everything. There will always be, with T2 gaining market share and users on a daily basis, there will obviously eventually be someone wanting to use it, if not Intel, Microsoft, or China Telecom. Cheers. And maybe I should pro tip. Let's copy and paste that. Nothing like mistyping this stuff here multiple times. So, but yeah, leave in the comments below. I'm always interesting to hear feedback, your thoughts. But I want not. Yeah, if I want to entertain you, oh come on, this is Voda fail. This is hilarious. Typing with V90 speed. I want more minimal code, more or less, less is more, less trusted compute base. Cloud Hypervisor Desk. Actually, maybe a win-win. We theoretically have this Rust and Cargo. Hello, tab. What cloud? What's going on here? Oh, that's going on. At least now we have documented what Unicode stuff that is so much to set. Reoccurring hypervisor. Need to debug that soon though. It's probably just, I probably don't run a UTF-8 locale. Yeah, that's probably it, to be honest. So let's see. And this is also the problem. When people always ask me, have you tried this and that? If it were not for YouTube, I would probably not even really try that. I mean, we have the win-win situation of people wanting that potentially eventually in T2, and T2 looking more feature complete and rich and everything. So from that point, we can at least package that. But otherwise, it would even... Do we need this for? I hope not. For me, too much time to look into each and every of those things here. Cloud Hypervisor and then 21.0 target gset. Do we get some first try right? We need, what was it, without refs and tags, and either like this or without we, I think. And odd stable, it should probably be most likely 21.0, maybe stable. And this fancy URL, who is even the original author of this stuff? I mean, the thing is, if you want to earn money with open source, it might be not the worst idea or a reasonable idea to start a package project like this. And I wouldn't be surprised if the original author might be some small hobbyist. It's even based on Rust VMM, Firecracker, and implementations. So yeah, the crazy thing is, who is now the recurring theme nowadays of who even is also multiple. Who is the original author of this stuff? That is always nowadays you spend the most time figuring out who created that. Nah. Yeah, it's always annoying, metadata stuff, workloads, so Linux guest. It's not even the best. Somehow the summary is not even what open source monitor runs on top of KVM. Ah, it actually does support Microsoft Hypervisor already. A modern, let's see, maybe we use this here as, maybe it's written in Rust. Yeah, the art of creating proper metadata. Virtual machine monitor for modern. Right, this doesn't necessarily need to be in the headline title. Oops. Yeah, you docs is Vodafone docs is so slow. You type off by one. Not only off by one, not only the ceiling ridge, also super slow. Press T, man. 77 there, and 77 was too much, so there. So there we have that. Whoever created that, what license is that even? I think I saw multiple. Yeah, Apache and BSD also. Mostly Apache and others. Yeah. Maybe I think it's APL, I think. And yeah, whoever many. This is a little bit. There would be some main thing. What I use. Thank you very much. Okay, that is was an amazing choice on Hypervisor. Let's see if we can. Would that have an author? Microsoft authors? Or is Hypervisor for the Windows? Yeah, that is what I meant earlier with naming in the 21st century. I think VMM would be something else. I think VMM most likely is the other external. Let's see. Marco agrees, thinks this goes into the wrong direction. Still believe type 1 hypervisors, but not micro hypervisor thing with stuff in user space, more like Moon with unicurls and segmented sounds. What was the odd stable thing I saw used in the last stream too? That is a mark for CV is a Czech version, so these tags are like I is information, T I think text. I mean, in retrospect we should have done it slightly different, but that's what we have now. Maybe in retrospect T should be title and I should be info, but that's what it is. URL, author, maintainer, category, license, status, version, priority, and CV are relatively new things, so this is not mandatory. CV is check version flags, and odd stable is for our data bot. So this is all for our data bot or other update scripts of automatically checking for updates. And odd stable is that, unlike, oh wait a second, we don't, maybe we don't need this because this is not triple version. So this is what I mentioned a couple of times decades ago. Most open source projects used odd numbers for development series and even numbers for stable series, like 2.0 would be stable and 2.1 would be development stuff. Some packages still do that, but not all. So this is a hint. It's only a hint for data, how to treat derived version numbers for the nightly updates and nothing more. We had previous videos about this stuff. So yeah, I'm a little bit perplexed with this author stuff here. Is it, would we have something he's also copying? There would be, oh, this is just of the documentation, thank you very much. It always annoys me quite a bit when the stuff, I mean, I could put there Microsoft, Intel, but I mean, I could also simply use the topmost here. Who created Rust Cloud Hypervisor? Or I think there's a typo in there also. Something, medium 20. Today almost 20 repositories has been created, but not all of them have been finished. What? Yeah, it's also not Linux Foundation. This is the crazy stuff that somehow, I mentioned this before, in my opinion, the Linux Foundation is not focusing on what they're similar to the Mozilla Foundation. They do not focus on what they should focus on, and they do everything in the kitchen sink. And I don't know why, similar to somewhat the Linux Foundation now is what previously the Apache Foundation was, like still collecting all the abandoned projects like Subversion and stuff now in the Apache Foundation. Maybe this press release, does it include who started it? Supported by Alibaba, ARM, ByteDance, Intel, Microsoft, funding members, represented by funding member constituents that include Adrian van der Veen, Phil Intel stuff. Moving to the neutral government of the Linux Foundation, yeah, I mean, yeah, for me it's always strange what governments, what open, I mean, sure, if this is a mostly Intel ARM, the project is supported by this, we could basically copy that and put it there. Intel, Microsoft, ARM is what we've seen. But this is so strange to me that if it's a mostly corporate project, why it then needs what is the Linux Foundation really doing to that? This is, I've seen so little, except spreading some money to some people, but I've seen so little governments of the Linux Foundation that I really have to wonder what is their purpose other than just moving some money around. Hypervisor. And did we got this right on the first try? Maybe we did. Let's see if that builds with our, although actually the installation, yeah, let's see. Cloud Hypervisor. With our new universal cargo code, it might build. Previous video, other week. And but maybe it doesn't. Maybe it still needs a, maybe it, in any case, it might need a manual install. Code glue, because it might, let's see, often this cargo, this is also the 2021 and cargo stuff often doesn't really install anything useful. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't support RISC-V yet, although, yeah, sure, there's no KVM on RISC-V yet. That's probably the reason. It's probably not that much architecture-specific code. Probably could, if although maybe KVM, RISC-V KVM is maybe merged in the meantime. So let's see. Let's see what it installs. If it installs Cloud Hypervisor and Hypervisor, this probably stands for firmware. Do we have a, no? Wait, does it, yes, also firmware. Wait a second, it needs firmware? Rust Hypervisor firmware. Oh, that is silly. GitHub, Cloud Hypervisor. Okay, it has Okay, this is part of the cloud image stuff here. Hypervisor firmware, didn't see that previously. But yeah, the more the merrier. Let's see, what else do they have there? Okay, that's the only two things they have. What is that? So we probably, oh, they don't have, oh no, they have releases. So probably we could package that next. What does it do? It supports, it contains simple firmware that is designed to be launched from anything that supports loading elf binaries and running them para-virtualized PVH booting standard. Purpose of is to be able to use the firmware load the bootloader from within a disk image without requiring the use of complex firmware such as Tiano Core EDK2, requiring VMM to reuse functionality used for booting the Linux kernel. Currently it will directly load kernel from a disk image that follows the bootloader. Specification is minimal EFI compatibility support, allowing to boot some images that use EFI shim grep2 as used by Ubuntu firmware. Parameter against Cloud Hypervisor, support QEMU PVH loader. Project was originally similar to Cloud Hypervisor using Firecracker, however, as it doesn't currently support resetting the virtual block device and possibly boot all the way into the OS. Okay, what do we have? A cargo build, Targo, okay, it has some target JSON, set build core, what? This will result in target, yeah, modern build stuff, configure, make, previously you configure, make installed, and now you mark cargo build with custom options, because, yeah. Okay, okay, so kernel, so you can also load that in QEMU, interesting. What security issues? Oh, that's only reporting. So, what's going on here? Failed to compile. VMM couldn't compile. This is interesting. It built with a git checkout, but not. What's happening here? Or is it just because our stuff already errored out? Maybe it. Is it install or is it... it is actually possible, previous videos, that everything built and then the install rebuilds stuff. That is at times... no, it isn't. It actually... no field and fire, so that is a funny thing. Maybe our Rust is too new? So yeah, 2021 you need the latest Rust for Firefox, and that doesn't build the Cloud Hypervisor then. It would appear, it looks to me that they probably recently fixed something for the bump. What is here? x82 build something build bump from, what is it? Tests EFI, that was bump UART. Yeah, so that is just, I guess, dependencies. Yeah, so that is just that. So this is a little bit crazy to me, right? This is micro dependency stuff and hard wiring this to specific version. And then, I mean, the repositories are full of, like, there's a little newer version. It means this, to me, all of this stuff is a little bit crazy. And what failed was file, right? Maybe file would, yeah, maybe this also needs a bump. That is a little bit sad. We could actually see if this install stuff would install something. Cargo build, so that would be install. It probably needs pass here. Oops. And yeah, so unfortunately this is a recurring theme here that I've seen often. My recurring criticism on Cargo that, like, why does it... It was fully built, right? Cargo built... At least I thought it was fully built. Maybe now the cargo install clobbered some stuff, wouldn't surprise me. So yes, this is to me still bizarre, to be honest. Let's try that again. Yeah, to me, as much praised Rust is, this cargo stuff is so much of a really strange fail. They applauded to the sky as being the most amazing, yet for me it's mostly an annoyance. This built-in install stuff like clobbers each other and partially or fully rebuilds it and like make solved stuff 30 years ago. And here we are with cargo reinventing the wheel and doing that in a, it's like, yeah, 2021, wheels are not rolling. Wheels are not round anymore because that would be so. So okay, that works without rebuild. Let's see what this why does it do that? Can someone explain that to me? That is so silly. Yeah, let's just like, yeah, with a new version soon it probably is fine. Yeah, not exactly what I was looking for. And again, I mean the most part of Rust and security and what do they write here, minimal and stuff. I mean, for me, like basing on, sure, it is the easiest minimal viable test implementation running on existing hypervisors, but you still have all the untrusted Linux kernel C or Microsoft Windows C, C++ code below there. So the point of that is, to me, not the very greatest point. And that is also the thing, it needs some minutes to investigate and first look and use it. And other news articles obviously, yay, amazing, into Microsoft Cloud Hypervisor. And then you take a look, like, yeah, not really. What does it give me new? Not even for security, even with QEMU. Sure, there were security vulnerabilities, but most of the code is guest system 99% of the time, otherwise a little bit emulated devices, and otherwise the KVM Linux kernel code. And that doesn't change here with this stuff. Rust, does it have Rust cargo? Yeah, so far not really many other dependencies, and of course it probably built. Anyway, that's it then for this video. I would say I'm a little bit disappointed. I expected more. I expected a bare metal hypervisor. Cloud Hypervisor. But yeah, looking forward to your comments. It's always, but yeah, this is, as I said earlier, this is how time goes by, right? Taking a look here. But also I mean, even reviewers, people always say, yeah, minimal and minimize trusted compute base TCP and stuff. But yeah, then you need to review all the stuff here, and this is not, I mean, still quite some code to review, unless, I mean, you can still have logic bugs and so on, right? I mean, just writing in Rust does not make the code instantly completely bug-free. But yeah, we will see to that. Yeah. So also Amazon, Chromium, Intel and others. So yeah, lots of stuff going on in the Rust ecosystem. Certainly at least interesting to watch. Yeah, hope you learned something and enjoyed this. As usual, leave in the comments below, and otherwise don't forget to share and subscribe, and hope to see you soon for even more, hopefully more interesting and useful fun to come.